my trip is over and I'm back in California. I'm happy to be back, but I did have a very fun time in New York, just like wandering around, shopping, eating, chilling in the park, knitting. I actually didn't do that much knitting like after the first couple days, but I read a lot. I read like 3 books while I was there, which was a lot more than I've read recently, so kind of got me out of like a little reading slump, which was cool. I just wanted to share some of the things that I got in New York just because I thought it would be fun. I just got a couple things that I thought I would use in my day-to-day life, or their books or yarn. First thing I got is this hat. This hat is from Absolute Bagels in the Upper West Side. And the best bagels. Me and my friend were wearing these hats and eating our bagels in the park, and someone thought that we worked for Absolute Bagels, so that's how you know it's good merch, if it's like something that they think the employees would wear. And some of the employees were wearing them, so I would highly suggest getting a bagel from Absolute, and this hat was only $10, so oh, it was a win. What else? I also went to the Brooklyn General Store where they sell yarn, and I didn't buy any yarn because that store was like beautiful and they had amazing yarn. There was this one brand, it was like La Bien Amie or something. It was a French brand and they had the most beautiful yarn, but they had so much of it and I could not decide. And it was expensive and I was like, what am I gonna make with this? Like, and I don't like to just buy like one ball if I don't have a project in mind, because then I'm just like, what do I do with one ball? So I didn't buy anything. Actually, I didn't buy any yarn. I bought this cute little tote bag. Yeah. Yeah, I had wanted a tote bag that was like a little bit smaller, and I liked that this was from a yarn store, because I don't think the yarn stores in California that I frequent like have merch like that. I don't really need yarn store merch, but I did like this tote bag. I did get some yarn. It's right here. I already wound it into a ball. I got 2 of these. They're from a New York yarn brand. Let's see. They're from this brand, Hue Made, hand-dyed yarn, New York company. I haven't looked at their Instagram yet, but I got this from Knitty City on the Upper West Side, and they had like a whole table with yarn from Hue, what's it called? Hue Made. This color is called Night Song, and I got the DK weight. It's super wash merino. This was $28, so I bought 2 of these. So it was a little bit expensive. Well, actually it's like pretty standard pricing for yarn. Like, I feel like hand-dyed yarn is usually like $30 a ball, but that's fine because it's beautiful and it's hand-dyed. So I got 2 of these, and I'm gonna use these to make the Erica Slipover by, oh my gosh, I like, even in my head, I never say the name of this knitter properly. Let me just look. Spectacle Strick. This same knitter who designed the Mood sweater, she's doing the Erica Slipover knit along this week, so I'm gonna participate in that, and I bought this yarn for that. So I'm sure that'll be up on my channel pretty soon. But that's the only yarn I got in New York City, just 2 of these. And then I went to a couple of vintage stores. I only got one thing. I got this little white sweater. It has these like metal buttons. They're like metal balls. Pretty simple, pretty classic. I'm sure I'll wear it all the time because I often just wear like very plain clothes. And then I got a few books. Me and my friend, when we were in Brooklyn, which is where Brooklyn General was, obviously, and where the vintage store that I got that was from About Glamour in Brooklyn. So we also went to the Aesop Queer Library, which was like, I guess it was in the Aesop store, and it was just like a weekend, or it was a, let me see. It's like a week-long event that I guess Aesop was doing, where they had a ton of books in the Aesop store, and they're all by queer authors. And they were free. You could get like 2 books for free, and then if you wanted more, I guess you had to buy them. I only found 1 book. I didn't really want to like take a bunch of books back to California with me, but I did get this book, When Katie Met Cassidy by Camille Perry, and they stamped the inside, which was cool. Yeah, so I read this on the plane home, and it was okay. It was like cute, and the quote that like made me want to read it, I'm like kind of into romance books right now. The quote that made me want to read it was the quote on the front from Vogue that says, "The delightful, sexy, queer novel of the summer has all the makings of a Nora Ephron classic." I did think it was like a fun, easy read, but I didn't really like it that much. It was okay. It was just okay. And then at the Strand, I got this book, Hurricane Girl. This book was strange, and it really reminded me of one of my friends who's just like all over the place. I also read this on the plane. But yeah, this one was interesting. It was like quirky, and the story was like, it was very much all over the place, but it was pretty interesting. Definitely not a romance. It's more like a wild ride type of book. And then I got Beach Read, which I read while I was there too. I did really enjoy this. So far I'm really liking Emily Henry, but unfortunately I've already read all of her books, I think. Yeah, so I read 3 books while I was in New York, and that's all I got. Just a couple things, nothing crazy. Thanks for humoring me as I made these silly little New York videos that had nothing to do with knitting. I have a couple videos in mind. The Erica Slipover. I'm doing a couple like tutorial videos, and then I did buy some yarn today, this purple and green yarn, and I'm gonna use that to do another pattern by the same knitter who did the Erica Slipover. I'm gonna do the Stripe Overload sweater, so I'll do a video on that too. Yeah, so lots of knitting this summer. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Okay, bye.